All right, we got Fanatic drama, bro. We got Fanatic drama again. Sam Matthews beefing with fans. So Sam Matthews, if you don't know what happened, so they released this like video of like Jun and the coaching staff joking around where, you know, Jun said, "Oh, scrims are going well," and then the camera pans and it's Nightshare and I don't even know, their assistant coach is holding knives like as a joke, like butter knives like far away, and they're kind of like making a joke that it's like, oh, we just don't hate each other, right?
So Jun, how was scrims today?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, scrim is mega good. They were amazing.
And Fnatic fans are pissed because it's like, sure, you can say that the team is getting along, but like whether you get along personally and professionally, it's two different things, right? 1 out of 23 of debunk your own BS, sourcing what you call BS, and judging your results. Your message is nothing short of deplorable, and I'll explain why below. First off, linking to the main thread, or to the mean BS thread, sorry. You absolutely don't want your fans to read, apparently, since you're not answering it directly. So this is the original thread where it said, "What a shame you guys hired this player. He's working for a year straight in a visibly dysfunctional environment in which it's impossible to improve. Expresses his frustration at a very unprofessional behavior that further shows how dysfunctional Fnatic's LO environment is." And then you force this apology from him. Nice. Okay. So that's what the thread was originally. Nobody ever called this an internal drama, so a video of players getting along with each other won't debunk this. We all know and praise the fact that players get along. You're deflecting the real accusations with that bullshit, which is true. The real accusations are that Jun is disappointed in the coaching staff's ability to develop effective plans and apply them to the teams they play against. That's what the criticism is. That's what him saying that he didn't understand the ban pick. That's a huge problem. If your player, even if you make a good plan, if your player doesn't know what the plan is going into the game, then you failed in some regard. If your player goes into the game and they're like, wait, we're leaving up Yone? Wait, why are we leaving up Yone? That's cream Yone. Isn't that like, okay, I guess this got changed at the last minute and I didn't know about it. If you didn't effectively communicate what the plan is, then how do you expect your players to execute on whatever plan you formed, right? Like, this is just basic coaching. So the accusation is that they're not able to effectively develop a plan, communicate it to players, and execute the plan on stage. Jun expressed his disappointment at someone changing the bans at the last moment and later posted an apology to take it back. Now, I don't know about you, but the same way I can't prove it's windy outside by being at my window, but I can see the leaves on the tree moving. Yeah, of course. So I think that this actually makes sense. I think a lot of the times people will be like, oh, we have like a bad coaching problem. Prove it. It's like, well, we can't, like, we don't have a camera on you 24/7, so we can't know if, like, maybe Jun is just lying, but I feel like it's very rare that a player would just go out publicly, just like lie about this, and be like, oh yeah, I mean, like, I knew about the Yone ban, and then he just starts like being like, just trying to blame the coaching staff. Even if that is happening, that means that then you do have an internal problem. So like, it's one of those things where you just know that Fnatic is dysfunctional from watching them the entire year. It is what it is. And so likely that my neighbor is blowing on it. It's much more likely that Fnatic didn't like his statement than believing an apology in a perfect English at midnight from Jun. Started learning English 10 months ago when it's literally dismissing his own thoughts. Yeah, I mean, of course, the organization made him apologize for it. You advised us to not believe, and sure, as a pro player, you shouldn't say things that undermine your coaching staff publicly. I agree with that sentiment. But when I see something like that, instead of me being like, oh, Jun is not behaving in like perfect like business sense when it comes to like how esports politics works, like he is not behaving in accordance to esports politics, instead of me thinking down that line of reasoning, I'm like, how fucked up is the team that, number one, the idea is stupid. Like, I'll tell you, as somebody who analyzes this game and that region 24/7, leaving up Yone versus Cream is just plain stupid. Like, there's no way that is your best chance of winning when you look at what Fnatic drafted. There's no way that you can convince me that your best way to win against top esports is to play full scaling into a team that's better than you early game when you're not even good at scaling and you don't even understand the concepts that allow you to scale, and giving Cream Yone. Like, this is not even something that's arguable. This is just a fucking retarded idea. And I don't know why people think that would be your best way to attack top. Why that's what we have decided is the best way to attack top. I mean, we saw the game, right? They play that game 100 times. That's probably one of the better games that they play. If they play that game 100 times, I would say that that's like a 80th percentile game. That's a game where they at least got a good lane swap, so they had some type of lead early game. Think about how the other games could go. Imagine if they try these TP plays and they don't work, or they don't get Jackie Love sums, whatever. Like, that was a 24-minute game, and I think it was literally one of the better ways that game could have turned out based on how they drafted with their team versus top esports. You advise us to not believe what's being said on the internet, but you're in London, the team is in Berlin, so you're reading reports from a director that wants to keep his job. It's equally stupid and or not working for years now. I don't think you have the leeway of calling the last thousands of diehard fans kids in a condescending tone when most Fnatic fans are 25 to 35 years old, and B, they're angry at your management for good reasons. That's 101 of how not to talk with your angry fan base. I mean, yeah, I would say the Fnatic fan base, like, they have a reason to be frustrated. I can't imagine being a fan of a team like Fnatic. Being a fan of a team like Fnatic is just like, it's essentially you just liked the old Fnatic so much that you've decided to stick with them, but you know your team is dysfunctional and shit at this point. You can't even be delusional. Like, you know how Mad fans and KC fans can still be delusional and be like, for the first year, Mad Lions did pretty well, and like KC fans can be like, it was just our first year in LEC, and you saw those upward trajectory. We can get better and better. We'll eventually win a title. Like, you can have that delusional hope. Fnatic just feels so hopeless. It's like, when are they ever going to win at this point? With how they handle things, like the way that they lose final. Like, you watch every finals, and even if the final is 3-1, it just never feels close. It never feels like they're playing the same game as G2. Facts you cannot debunk about your director. Now, there are only two possibilities. Either A, you're so out of touch that you don't realize how miserable it is, or B, despite what you say here, you're okay with this. So this is talking about Fnatic Dardo and all the decisions he's made. A is stupidity, and you're not stupid. B is lying in your fan base. Lying to your fan base, split after split with those we will try harder, change things bullshit that you can't debunk either because it's sourced facts. Those results are facts. The bullshit is on your side. The facts are not. Okay, boom. But I can count at least 8 ex-employees being unhappy publicly about management, team cohesion, or work environment after leaving these last 5 years. Mithy, Yamato, Tolki, Upset, Wonder, Nemesis, Selfmade, Whippo. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk negatively about their time in Fnatic, and even when they do it with a sense of like diplomacy, it still feels, wow, that environment must have sucked. Like, somebody like Yamato will not directly say, wow, I hated Fnatic. He won't say any of that. But when you hear how Yamato speaks about it, he's like, what he always says, like, we inherited all the baggage of the previous year. And he's like, those were some stressful times in Fnatic, you know, and like, you just see how the players were, you know, dealing with the situation. You could also add Niski in here. Like, Niski was somebody who was like contract jailed in 2022, allegedly. This is what everyone thought. As soon as he was free of his contract, he was able to play in the LEC, so he had to take a split off of LEC after making Worlds. I mean, you saw like Niski breaking down on camera after they lost in group stage, which just like wasn't a good look. But yeah, I mean, Fnatic is a team that feels like the most dysfunctional team in Europe when it comes to like the capabilities and like the player skill and the organizational power compared to the results. This is a challenge for you. Give me the name of one other org that has been called out at least as much in the meantime by ex-employees. There's none. Say what you want about ex-employees being bitter, but there are only 2 explanations for this. 1, Fnatic didn't meet their expectations or wasn't a good working environment. B, they were in fact bad and not a good fit for Fnatic standard. What is funny is that in both cases, it's the director's fault for hiring them or not allowing them to work properly. Okay? Talking about turnover, Fnatic LOL had 18 players and at least 15 coaches and analysts I can think of in the last 5 years. That's crazy. Is that actually true? All right, 5 years. So 5 years goes back to, I guess, 2020. We'll go to 2020. It's 2019. Yeah, okay. So 2020. I guess if you go 5 years, literally, you're going like 2019 Fnatic at Worlds. So that would be what? Broxa, Whippo, Selfmade, Nemesis, Reckless, Hillsong, Upset, Adam, Wonder, Razork, Humanoid, Rux, Advian. You have to throw Advian in there. Oscarinen, Noah, Jun, Trimby, Bean. I don't count Bean because he was like emergency sub. I wouldn't say Bean on main team. I think I got everyone, no? Niski, obviously, yeah. We got a lot. I mean, that is a lot of players, bro. That's actually a lot of players. So that's off the top of the head. Coaches and analysts, I don't know about like their old coaches and analysts. I remember like Tolki, obviously Yamato. I remember Crusher, Nightshare, these guys. Okay. That's 23 mismatches in the last 4 years. Hiring and managing is a skill, and those facts aren't in Dardo's favored. Absolutely no issue. If you thought picking the least viral ones was safe, you couldn't be more wrong. Wait, show me something Reckless and Caps have said negative about Fnatic. We have nothing but love and respect for them. Okay, sure. I'm not going to go into that. It's going to take too much time. For someone who knows that all the situations inside and out, what a lie. It's impossible, even if you were with the team 24/7. You seem to have missed a couple. What's ITW? I thought that was in the world, bro. You seem to miss a couple. What does it say? For someone that knows all the situations inside out, what a lie. It's impossible, even if you were with the team 24/7. You seem to have missed a couple in the world. Is that what that means? But since you also say that you don't care about X players complaining, I guess it's just an easy way out. Okay, maybe that relates to the it would seem. ITW means it would seem. I always thought it was in the world. I thought people said like this is like the best in the world. All right, okay. As you say, what matters in results, and Fnatic had 0 results in 6 years. Do you want a trophy of the most consistent team besides G2? You know results come because of a process of performance, right? And that if that process in Fnatic was working, yeah, you would get one. Okay, the players would improve. They don't, mostly. Wouldn't be angry at management after leaving because they would have learned a lot at Fnatic. Have fun finding one example of someone saying that. The performance in game would get better. We still can't play any macro. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the problem with the team is you look at Fnatic and they never improve. You feel like this team was no better on day 200 of the season that we're in than they were on day 1. Like, you don't feel like they're actually better at things. You look at other teams and you see what they've improved on over the course of the year. But yeah, I don't know, bro. It's one of those things where it's just like either the players are incapable of learning or the coaching staff is incapable of teaching. Like, it's just one of the two, right? And that just has to be the case based on the fact that the same mistakes happen the entire year. There's someone in charge of getting results through performance. It's your director. He gets no results. Performance is astonishingly bad. I don't know if it's astonishingly bad. It's just like it's consistently bad for a team that has had teams that were good enough to win. Gives Fnatic a bad name among the esports enjoyers. Again, those are facts. Results aren't our imagination. Can't brush it off. You kept repeating made-up drama like a mantra to shift burden of the proof. It's exactly the kind of bullshit we're fed up with. Thousands tweet, ask accountability explanations for the performances, and you'd rather ignore those pleading calls. Hire a head of corporate communications because clearly this suit is too big for you. It is true that Sam Matthews, okay, so like you can't say that what Sam Matthews says is bad objectively, right? But when you think about how Sam Matthews communicates with the Fnatic fan base, if what you're saying to your own fans is always pissing them off, then you're probably not doing a pretty good job, like a good enough job communicating either what your goals are as an organization, or like you're not good at communicating effectively the reasons why you weren't able to make your goals or meet your expectations to your own fan base. Like 99% of the time, that's what it is. I mean, there is a chance that you just inherit a fanatical fan base and there's nothing you can do about it. But Sam Matthews has been a Fnatic for a long period of time. You actually don't want Fnatic LOL to perform. I mean, I'm sure he does. He just doesn't want to do the things that are required for them to perform. Or luckily, but you don't want to invest in it. Okay. Dardo's job is to make it profitable. There's no other explanation. His goal was performance. He'd be out since 2022 at least. The only expectation is that you lie to the fan base when you say you want to win worlds. I don't think you're stupid enough to think you can do it with Dardo. I mean, win worlds, bro. What the f? You just want Fnatic LOL to not burden the finances too much until it dies, period. Prove me and many of the others wrong. Fire Dardo. Start a new cycle with competent people like G2 did. But we both know what won't happen because it would have happened at least 3 seasons ago. So at least stop lying to your kids. Dart out. Jesus, man. Normally I hate threads like this, but I think that with like Fnatic fan base, like this is probably some of the most reasonable complaints that you could have.